Kevin yells at hearing-impaired employee for ignoring him. This happened a few hours ago. I wanted to go to Walmart early before the crazy last-minute shoppers flooded out for the weekend. I picked up a few things for baking and couldn't remember where to find molasses. Rather than waste time combing up and down the aisles with too many people, I sought out an employee. I heard someone say "excuse me?" a couple times with less patience and saw him and the male employee he was trying to call out to. The employee was stocking some canned goods and didn't seem to notice the man at all. The customer grabbed the employee's shoulder and scared the crap out of him. The male customer got in the employee's face and said, "I know you heard me, Dipty. You ignore all your customers?" When the employee's back was to me, that was when I noticed the "I am hearing impaired" in bold white letters on the back of his blue vest. I was heated by the customer already, and knowing he was harassing an employee, and impaired at that, really burned me up. I went up to the man as the employee backed away from him, clearly alarmed by the customer's abrasive action. I told the man, "Excuse me, but you don't need to be so harsh. He wasn't ignoring you. He's hearing impaired." "That don't mean he can't hear me talking," the man futilely tried to argue. I resisted face palming, especially after touching things in the store. The employee was too unnerved to do anything, so I asked the man what he needed. He said he couldn't find something. I didn't care to remember what, and told him exactly what aisle it was in. He left and the shaken employee leaned against his locked cart, seemingly on the verge of crying. My ASL, American Sign Language, wasn't great, but I knew enough to be polite. I signed, "Are you okay?" His eyes lit up for a moment and he signed back, "I'm fine. Thank you." He went on to sign more, but I only caught jerk and rude customers and scared, which was enough for me to get the gist. Over the years in my retail job, I picked up some ASL for retail workers in online videos to be more helpful to the occasional deaf or hearing impaired customers who came into the store I worked at. So, I knew enough key signs to hold at least a short conversation. I signed, "Sorry, I only know a little ASL." He gave me a friendly smile and signed, "No problem. Did you need help with anything?" I didn't know the sign for molasses, so I spelled it and shrugged, feeling a little sheepish since I almost never had to sign. He signed to me where to go, but I didn't catch much of it, and he could tell. He let out a little laugh and signaled for me to follow him, so I did, and he led me to the aisle the molasses was in. My vertically challenged self wouldn't have been able to reach it, so I signed, "Grandma" for the brand I wanted. He reached up and handed it to me. I signed, "Thank you. I appreciate it." He signed something and pointed to the jar. He did this twice, and I realized he was teaching me the sign for molasses. I signed it back to him and he signed yes. With a smile. We both laughed and he asked where I learned sign language. I told him online and just practiced every now and then, mostly for funsies and because I was fascinated by the language. He reached into his pocket for a notepad and pen to scribble something. I patiently waited until he handed the paper to me and I read it. "You showed me kindness I almost never see. Thank you for helping me and respecting my community when many don't. Never stop learning. I wish more people were like you." I signed, "Thank you. I'm," nickname of 2 initials. "Nice to meet you." He signed back, "I'm so-and-so. Nice to meet you." Rather than shake hands, we bumped elbows and parted ways. That guy really made my day, and I bet I probably made his week. It breaks my heart to see terrible people being unnecessarily rude to workers, impaired or otherwise. What's so hard about being a decent human being? If I were in so-and-so's shoes, I'd be grateful to anyone who at least made an effort to communicate with me in a way we both understood. When I made my purchase, I saw the rude customer from before in the other line getting an attitude because his card was declining. He noticed me as I grabbed my bags. I gave him a smile and signed, a hole, and left. We all want to go home, Karen. This happened about 2 hours ago. I was there, but not a direct participant. A friend took me grocery shopping. My vehicle isn't running at the moment. I struggled to shop because all the motorized carts are taken and I need way more groceries than the motorized carts can carry. I have to lean on my standard cart for support as I shop. This means that by the time I have done all the bending, lifting, and walking, my back and hip are on fire. I have degenerative disc disease. I shop, get in the checkout line behind a woman that separated her shopping, slowly, into 3 separate transactions. I'm patient as just standing still gives my back a little bit of a rest. I let my friend, who's waiting in the car, know that I am on my way out. She tells me that I need to hurry because the weather is getting bad and it's starting to rain heavily. It took about 20 minutes to get through checkout and start out the door, and this is where the breakdown happens. We have, entitled person, Karen, worker, W, impatient customers, IC, too many, and being behind them. It was hard to tell who was talking, and the police. I am standing in another line that's about 8 people long waiting to exit the store. The store has the entrance and exit separated with barricades consisting of poles with canvas ribbon stretched between them to help guide people through the correct doors and keep people apart. My back hurts, so I'm a little annoyed at the delay getting out. All I want to do at this point is to sit down. I can hear a quarrel going on from the front of the line, so I step to the side to get a look. There I see Karen, 55 years old, blonde ponytail sticking out of a baseball cap, and sitting just outside the exit doors where there is an overhang or awning on a motorized car that's parked sideways. She has the entire double door exit completely blocked off. No one behind her can get out, creating a traffic jam of shopping carts. I see, ma'am, can you please move so we can get out? Karen, I'm not moving until my ride gets here. It's raining. I see, ma'am, we are all trying to get out before the weather gets any worse. W, ma'am, you're going to have to move. Karen, no, I'll get wet. My ride is coming. We'll load my shopping and get out of your way. I see, lady, move. Karen turns in her seat and glares daggers at the people. There are at least 6 more people now behind me waiting to exit. The woman behind me asks if I know what the holdup is, and I explain what I think is going on. The woman rolls her eyes and says, "There's always one in every crowd." W, ma'am, if you don't move, I'll have to call the police to move you. Karen, I'm not going anywhere. I called my husband and he is coming to get me. I'm not getting out in the rain and getting sick. Just go around me. I see, we can't get our shopping carts around you. Karen gives everyone a one-finger salute and continues to sit on her cart while people still inside the store are complaining and a few at the front of the line are shouting at the woman to move as she ignores them. The W finally decides that she's had enough and radios customer service to call the police. She disengages one of the barricade straps and starts ushering people to exit through the entrance door. I make it outside and head to my friend's car in the pouring rain. We get everything loaded in and see that the police have shown up. An officer was talking to Karen. I see her shake her head no and fold her arms over her chest. Then I see the officer grab the handle of her cart and moves it out of the doorway and into the downpour. I have no idea what happened after that, as I was on my way home to get out of my wet clothes and put this on Reddit.